What's going on, Eurovoxers? Kuidas läheb, Clara?
Hi, Seagull.
Hi, Stika. I'm understanding that we're building on this one by one as we do every video on Estonia. In like 50 years' time, I'll be fluent in Estonian. But guys, we're talking about Eesti Laul today. The two semifinals have come and gone, and now the original list of 24 songs has been reduced to 12. And one of those songs and artists is going to represent Estonia at Rotterdam. So let's find out who it's going to be. So let's get into it. Tell me about which songs that you're happy to see move on to the final.
Well, I was obviously expecting it, but Jagur to sick because I thought he used all of the visual elements really well. As if we take the song from the video, it's basically a couple dancing, but then he had this teardrops, the raindrops element, and that was super unexpected. And I really like how the sound was engineered. The backing vocalist like kicked the song up and gave it that dimension that I was not sure it could be produced on a stage, on a live stage.
Yeah, and I think that this is one that we were kind of expecting when we saw the music video, that the stage would kind of look something like that. And I think that overall it was a pretty good translation from the music video. I do think that there were maybe a few moments that the momentum kind of slowed down. Like I think that some of the moments when it was just him on stage, it felt like he didn't really have the movements that he would do by himself planned out as well. But I mean, at least I think the performance overall was quite good. Maybe not the best we've seen, but he certainly did the song justice, and it continues to be one of the favorites for a lot of people. So I think that this is certainly a contender for the win. He wasn't the only one that I think did justice to his performance. There were others for you as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, Cuckoo, for example, he did a really nice job. Everything you would expect from a Cuckoo performance was there. The stage presence, the vocals, even a cheesy lighting that said love. That was a little bit too cheesy for me, but I understand like you're trying to sell the concept of the song and like who your potential audience is.
Yeah, I think it's fair to see why they've done it. For me as well, it is also quite cheesy to be doing that, especially because on top of that, the song itself, like, I mean, I don't want to start knocking on it too early, because obviously he performed very well. You can't deny that he has a great voice, probably one of the best out of all of the performers in Eesti Laul. And you know, like, not a lot of areas that really need improvement. I think he has that part of it down. I still feel like the songwriting in it just feels a little bit clunky. The way that in the chorus he's kind of spitting out these words like rapid fire, and then there's he's stretching out the last word of every line. It doesn't really hit my ear very well. But again, it's clearly a favorite. It is performed really well. So I think that much like Jagut is, this could be a contender for the win. Anyone else? Any surprises for you?
Yeah, Annette and Freddie, but in a good way. Because I think it's been such an understated song. It's so elegant, so classical without being classical. It's just like good quality, like a good old quality song, and with a very modern text. You write about me, I write about you. Situations we can all relate, and it was just performed so elegantly. And yeah, I liked it.
This was one of my favorites when we talked about it in when we were doing our review of semifinal one. So I'm really thrilled that it made it to the final as well, because I also, as much as I liked it, I did think that it might have been a little bit too understated for the Estonian public to really get behind. But it made it, and you know, solidly performed. I think she's probably up there with Cuckoo in terms of having the voice down. And I really like the aesthetic that they went for with the anamorphic framing, as they call that, the putting the black above and below so that it looks a little bit more filmic. I think that there might have been some slower moments that maybe could have been picked up by the camera work, but overall, I think the song is just a vibe, and it's really really lovely. So this is I think this is probably the entry that I'm most excited about, considering how far it's gotten.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see if they are going to change something on this on this weekend performance.
Push coming for sure that you say you're in love and say you could write songs, but you write one about me.
Any other surprises for you?
Yes, Egert Miller, Georgia. Georgia.
Georgia. Yeah.
I remember you singing that one
Yeah.
in the last video. The thing is, for me this was not a very memorable song, like recorded, it sounded very flat, but it did so well live.
Yes, absolutely.
We had seen like not very on point performances till then, and then he came out and he was just like enjoying, feeling at home on the stage, and that was transferring that emotion was transferring across the screen. So I actually really enjoyed the performance way more than I thought I would.
Hmm. I have to say that if it were up to me, this would be the winning song, because everything was there. The staging was, it really fit the feel of the song. His performance was excellent, and one thing that has come up a lot as I've heard people who kind of work behind the scenes in Eurovision and at the national selections, a lot of them are talking about how it's necessary to create a moment on stage that really stands out to people, so that when they're talking about the songs, or when they're thinking back to the songs that they want to vote for, they have that one thing that stands out to them. So if, for example, with Jakub, it could be the rain falling and stopping in that moment. In this case, the moment was really when he got up on the piano and at the very end of the song and started singing and belting out the chorus. And like it was really, it really brought the energy up even more. But there was also a little bit of like a danger element to it too, because I was kind of like, oh man, I really hope he doesn't fall. But I'm also like really in the moment with it too.
Yeah.
So I was really, really thrilled that this did well and that this advanced too.
My other one that I'm super excited is Sine Valtri.
Yeah.
I love me a big diva.
Well, this was one that when we discussed it, we both were into it because of those kind of classic Eurovision qualities that it had, but we certainly were doubtful about how well it could do. And I think that even now that it's moved on to the final, we're probably still feeling like it won't win, but it's definitely like it's deserved to be where it is, right?
It's definitely my guilty pleasure. I was so thrilled when it announced that it had qualified. I couldn't believe it, because it is what you just described. Like, it's everyone's guilty pleasure, but everyone's too afraid to vote.
So naturally, as there are certain songs that definitely surprise us and do a really good job, there tend to also be songs that don't quite live up to expectations. Clara, which one of these songs were you a little bit let down by?
Violina and German. Oh my god, I love that song. Like, the recorded version is so uplifting. My baby is a heroine. But I think overall there was some power in the vocals missing. The staging, I think it felt like they had just dropped the guys there, and there was like the violina part, and then there was him. It wasn't like a connection. For me, it wasn't so rounded.
You know, I actually didn't mind the performance. It wasn't one of my favorites. I certainly wasn't feeling it as much as you were. I understand that it really it wasn't going to be enough to qualify anyway, because vocally it wasn't. You know, there were some difficult parts of the song that he didn't quite get. I liked that there was a little bit of choreography with it. But I agree with you in the sense that it didn't really feel cohesive, and perhaps they could have interacted a little bit more, especially considering that it is this, you know, really uplifting, fun song. So yeah, I totally understand. There's one certainly from semifinal one that we certainly appreciated, but perhaps fell short a little bit, and that was, of course, Renata with Video Meng. Your thoughts on that song?
So for me, Renata's performance was, I think, a little bit spoiled by nervousness. I understand it's a big staging. I'm not sure about what her music career is before this. So maybe this was a very big task to take on. I loved her dress. I thought it was impressive.
Yeah, she looked nice.
Yeah, she did look nice, that's for sure. But I think her voice was not, it wasn't her best night for her vocally. And I think there was also a mismatch between the back vocalist and her. And it's again what we just said with Violina and Germani. There was a cohesion element missing.
Yeah, I have to say that, yeah, I agree with you in the sense that the performance, it was lacking. It could have come down to nerves, or it could be lack of experience. And certainly with a song about video games, or at least with a video game theme in it, there were probably big expectations with the staging that didn't quite get met. But I do want to say that I do absolutely love this song. It went right into my library after the show, because the more and more I listened to it when I was editing the first video that we did, it grew on me more and more. So I think that I definitely give my congratulations to her and her collaborators for the song that they've done. Hopefully she'll come back again and tear the roof off. So now that we've seen these performances live, we definitely have a little bit of a better sense of who it could be that moves on to represent Estonia in Rotterdam. Clara, I want to know, who would you choose if it was up to you?
If it was up to me, and considering the songs that are out already representing other countries, I would definitely go for Jagur, because we haven't seen this profile of artist yet. We don't have the very young male singer solo artist that has this more like contemporary dance ballet kind of performance, and then it gets emotional with like the teardrops and the drama. And I think, and also considering who's voting, because younger artists tend to have a stronger 15-year-old fan base that loves to vote. So
that's true. In my case, as I mentioned, I loved Eggert's performance with Georgia. So if it were up to me, I would choose it based off of my own tastes and the fact that I think it could be a nice moment at Eurovision in Rotterdam. But I also have to say Traffic as well, because they had a really cool concept with their staging where it was them in a circle. And I remember when we were talking about this in our earlier video, you mentioned that it felt like they were kind of inviting you to go camping with them.
Yes, indeed.
And even though that has nothing to do with the song, it's interesting because that's how the staging felt. It felt like they were all gathered around a campfire, and the lights behind them. It was really, really nice. And of course, like Stig Rasta with his songwriting, and to me it was really, really nice. So that's who I would definitely choose. But of course, it's not always up to us. So now tell me, who do you think is going to win?
I think Cuckoo might win out of popularity and his Kirkorov support.
Oh, is that so? He's supported by Kirkorov?
Kirkorov, yes.
Oh, okay. So did Kirkorov do the staging?
I don't think he meddles in Estonian affairs, but nothing happens in Eurovision that Kirkorov doesn't approve.
Ah, interesting. I have to agree with you. I think that it's definitely going to be Cuckoo. Well, maybe not definitely, because I think that Jagur is certainly a candidate. It's got that competitive spirit of it. I do think that there are certain parts of the song that can be sanded out a little bit more, whereas Cuckoo, at least he has the performance down. But yeah, I think especially considering that after they select the 3 songs to move on to the gold final or super final, whatever they call it, then it's 100% televote. I think that we could be seeing Cuckoo win.
Yes, especially because he has a lot of international support. He's taken part in TV programs in different countries. The most famous one is The Voice Russia or New Face or New Wave Russia. And if he was wearing white, that on stage, and there was white elements on stage, that has Kirkorov's signature. So maybe he did give him some advice on the staging.
I guess we'll never know. Or maybe we'll find out later on that he's been involved. So guys, those are our thoughts on the finalists for Eesti Laul. Let us know what you think. Who do you think is going to win, and who would you choose if it was up to you? Leave us a comment in the comment section below. Don't forget to reach out to us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe to Eurovoxx if you haven't done so already, and reach out to us at eurovoxx.net. Until next time, see ya.
Bye.